My name is Craig Picken. I'm an executive recruiter. More than a decade ago, I started my practice for one purpose: to use my experience as a former military aviator, business jet sales executive, and P&L leader to help aviation and aerospace companies and their executives be fast, adaptable, and strategic. I do these podcasts to inspire and inform, but more importantly, they are a focused platform to help business leaders grow. Welcome to the Aerospace Executive Podcast. Let's talk about something different. You talked about onshoring. What do you obviously politically, we're seeing a big headbutt between China and America, and the US right now. You're seeing a lot of stuff. Are companies getting more excited about bringing stuff to back into the borders and competitively? Can we compete on cost? Or for companies that want to do that, what are some other, if they can't do it on cost, what should they be thinking about?
Okay. For Anchor Harvey, it started in the June timeframe where we started receiving prints and models and inquiries about making these products. Some of the blueprints that came over were not in English. That's the first sign that you notice. But they were at the volumes that were in our wheelhouse. What we do at Anchor Harvey is we have a very lean manufacturing process. We have a one flow piece process. So from the beginning of the forge process to the end, it takes about 3 hours. The parts then have to be aged. That could be 8 to 10 hours. So in crunch time, we can get someone a forging in 2 to 3 days, which is very quick within the industry. So we offered them speed, smaller lot sizes, so they could turn their inventories. And what we do internally is we'll keep some raw material on hand. We prefer to keep it there than in finished goods, because my raw material might be used for other customers too. And we've also aligned ourselves with a couple of aluminum mills that also have short lead time. So we shortened up our supply chain basically to give them smaller lot sizes quickly as they would need them. So are we as less expensive as they are? I think in total cost, we're very close now.
But the difference being made up in, hey, I don't have to keep inventory on my shelves.
Right.
I need 10,000 of these things next Wednesday.
Yep.
The truck is showing up. And if it costs me a few cents more,
it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's the headache factor. How receptive, we talked about a motorcycle manufacturer. We talk about, a lot of these, how receptive are these guys to that conversation? They got to be really receptive to that conversation, especially today.
They are. Once we start talking that talk, the questions just flow. So my minimum lot size can be this, and I can get it delivered twice a month, and the questions just go. They realize it. They're well-educated folks. So that's one of our selling cards, the speed to market. But the other one at Anchor Harvey is our consistency of product. We have process control inputs on the entire forging process. You walk into the supervisor's office, engineers, maintenance, you see these big TV screens. They monitor the entire process of the heating of the billets, the presses, the aging of everything is monitored and controlled very closely. So for us, that provides a lot of uptime. It gives a status of the equipment. All of a sudden, if a press is pulling 5 more amps, the maintenance guys all get a notification on their phones. Hey, something's going on with that press. Go check it out. It becomes very predictive. So our uptime as a forge shop is incredible because of that system we have in place. So the uptime of equipment, and we can go fast. Makes a big difference for many of our customers.
What's the biggest challenge you getting the customer to shift to that mindset? I'm sure, look, nothing comes easy. It's like, hey, look, it's great. We can shorten your lead time. What are your are you getting into their inventory? Are you getting into their ERP? Are you bringing financial models to say, hey, look, guys, you can bring it on shore, et cetera. How are you making the case?
I think what you're asking, how do we find customers that value our value? And that's always a challenge, always a challenge. So normally, my sales manager does have a fictitious spreadsheet of total cost because we've known so many customers that have gone overseas and they've shared the cost breakdowns. And so we swing back then with the smaller lot sizes and inventory turns. And, we might be off a little bit, but they see an example of it and they think about their business and their product lines. So we do flash up an example for them just to kind of make them think that way.
How much now of your customers now, so yeah, customers come, customers go, every business has it.
Yes.
Do you have like a cadre of steady people that, hey, look, we've got long-term agreements with, and we're hanging in? Is a lot of your stuff transactional? How do you grow from here?
Yeah, excellent question, because Anchor Harvey is really a job shop.
Okay.
So our customers come to us and say, hey, can you forge this? Because we don't have a product line. Saying that though, we have many steady customers. For example, in the archery industry, there's 7 or 8 major players. We have capabilities due to large presses. It makes it hard for the competition to come in and take that business. But we service them like there's no tomorrow. We're dealing with the design of their bows now at their place before they even send it over. So we offer them some internal value of how to design bows. So they could leave us at any time, but they hang with us. We have the first customer Anchor Harvey ever had at this location in Freeport in 1979. That customer's still with us. So they come and go, but we've had a pretty steady book of business. We've lost them overseas, but we've landed a lot more than we lost.
That's got to be a pretty exciting.
We've grown this business 5-fold in the last 16 years. So it's been pretty exciting.
Wow. And you're privately held, private equity owned? What's
privately held? There's a family behind it, and
okay.
They own other businesses too. So.
They ask you to continue to grow it. You've grown it 5-fold in 16 years. Is there another 2X coming?
Craig, I think these guys with that question.
Yeah.
But to grow for growth's sake is not what they're interested in. First and foremost, safety. They want everyone to be safe. Secondly, they want good quality parts because of a reputation for us and for them. And then it's production. We're going to continue to grow. Like, marketing's aggressive, and that's fine because I love the challenges. We talked about winning and learning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to win or learn unless I'm trying. So
hey, look, if you're, that's the thing. If you're not swinging the bat, you're not. You never. What is it? You never miss you never make the shot you don't take. Right.
Right.
A smaller mid-sized company, sub 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you awake as a CEO at that size of business? I have this thing called the tugboat theory. And the tugboat theory is the captain of the tugboat has got shifting tides and he's pushing 20 boats into berth a day, whereas the captain of a big ship goes from Hong Kong to LA, on autopilot. So you got a lot of things going on. What have you learned over the years as a smaller company CEO? That you bring you try to mentor up and coming professionals on.
I find many of my executives around me think relatively short term. And there are things you can do with a customer, pricing wise, market wise, idea wise, that you can keep them there for a long time. What keeps me up at night is when I drive by empty factories, I always think, what didn't they do right? Something didn't happen right. Was it sales? Was it marketing? And they have a bad quality. And I always think about that. That keeps me up at night. And right now what keeps me up at night is we're on a roll. We're hot. We're doing great. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking out 2 years away now, what other customers should I have in my base? Because the cycle time here is quite long. By the time you get a print, samples, they do their testing, before you get production work, it can easily be 18 to 24 months. So we're loading some in, but I'm not really happy with the amount we're loading in.
Okay.
But that's what keeps me up at night, is the futuristic, a little bit further out. Do we have the right equipment? Do we need to expand again? That's the stuff I worry about.
Who do you use who do you use? Look, nothing happens in a vacuum. We talked about your website and some of the website stuff you're doing, talking about some of the marketing stuff you're doing. You've got you've got a good commute. I know where you live. You've got a good commute to work every day. Do you just think about it in the car? Who do you use to help you with, these things? And and what do you suggest to people as they're coming in, and you're thinking about, because I know people are pitching me ideas all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, all of them either sound really good or all of them sound bad. And then what do? Nothing.
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 Yeah. A couple of things. One is I'm notorious for running book clubs, and people have worked around me for 25 years. Know what happens. We'll select a book. I mean, it could be servant leadership. We've done the Covey readings, the goal, just a variety of books, pump out a syllabus, and every Friday morning, we have a couple of people that present. And we only go through about 40 pages, 45 pages. And so we read a lot of books. And over the years, I've read a lot of books. So that kind of helps me just continue to learn. But where do I go from there to learn even more? It's guys like you. These podcasts have been a blessing, because I went down your list of podcasts and I'm picking which ones I want to listen to. And I'm learning. There's ideas there. Learning. You can't go to a seminar and everything they're going to teach you is what you need.
Right.
Pick up bits and pieces along the way. So on your podcast, okay, that's a good idea. So, but you have to stay sharp. You got to educate yourself.
Yeah, I know. It's it's like a lot of times the best ideas come from your employees. I mean, it's hey, look, let's try this. And you're like, all right, well, we'll invest a little bit in it. You don't have to make a big bet, but we'll make $1,000 bet, and we'll just see where it goes.
Yep. Many of our employees will come up and say, that forging design isn't a good design because they go through it, that it turns out to be right. And, they might find a little something extra in their paycheck in a week or two then. So kind of spreads, that helps. You're right, though. The shop floor folks know a lot, more than we give them credit for.
Who brought you the website? Who brought you the marketing idea? Where did your marketing? You've obviously got a talented marketing person. The full time on staff, or do you?
No, we have a company on the outside called Rit Caffeine. They're in Lombard, Illinois. They've done an excellent job of setting up our whole little machine here of how we generate leads, follow up on leads, and kind of fill that funnel. I've never experienced something like this. We have done, in years ago, we've done telemarketing and other means of it, but we never had the results that numbers we're driving now because of them.
That's awesome. And they just keep the funnel full. Your sales guy kind of bring in your salespeople.
Yep. We meet with the marketing company via Zoom every other week. Mm-hmm. And then we have big topics we're going to discuss. I can get down to weekly conversations with them. So they're very active in our business with us. And you've got to put the time in. If they're coming up with ideas and they need articles from you, you got to do the articles on a timely basis and get them out there. So engaging a marketing company costs some money and requires some work too.
Yeah, well, everything. It's an investment. I mean, it's an investment. I tell people go to conferences. They go, why? They cost a lot of money. I mean, like, hey, look, what, $1,000 to go to, $1,000 to go, $500 to the plane ticket, it's $2,000 to invest in your own personal growth. You go meet 100 people in your, you got to look at, you can't look at it as a cost. You got to look at it as an investment.
Yeah. Years ago in Illinois, in Northern Illinois, there's an organization called the President's Forum. And you would be with a group of 6 different presidents. You rotate in on each other's company once a month. Mm-hmm. And so you'd make it through a company twice a year. And that was a rigorous review of the financials, the shop floor, business direction. And I did that for 3 years before I moved up here to Northwest Illinois. And it was so educational. It was like a hands-on MBA program by fire. And it was great. A very good organization.
where do you move from here? So COVID, you guys got COVID figured out. You got the shop as clean as it's ever been. The employees are safe. I suspect that, in a few months, we'll all look back and go, gee, that was no fun. I hope it never happens again. Where do you take your business from here? What industries do you like? How do you compete? How do you compete more aggressively? What are you thinking about?
We got a couple of things going. First off, like our speed and our quality of parts, our calling card, that's going to help us acquire more aluminum forging work. What Anchor Harvey is doing strategically is we're shifting into some different super micro alloys, and we're beginning to test those internally under forgeability. Titanium, magnesium, we're just beginning to test some of that. Magnesium, for example, is very popular in Europe and Russia, but in the States, we haven't really embraced it, I think out of fear of not understanding the material. So we're going to go down that road some. It's pretty well on its way already, and that will open up markets to us. We would love to do more in aerospace, and that's why we're talking. And but as we discussed, it might be a little bit, but we're going to still keep on sending out our emails to the engineers, make sure they know Anchor Harvey's out here. But we have some internal things. I think the future of the lightweight and strength material, you have to have that in your portfolio.
Are you optimistic about U.S. manufacturing? Do we have the skills? Do we have the talent? Can we get the people and keep them motivated?
I believe yes. I think they are out there. Manufacturing isn't has gotten a bad name over the years, but there still are good manufacturing companies here in this country, and you can make a good living. You can learn a lot. You can have a great career. They're still out there. They're still alive. We'll get past COVID and just watch. It'll keep coming back. I don't think a lot of people want to maybe outsource to other countries the way they used to. I see a slowdown in that for a while, and it gives us an opportunity to prove ourselves. So you got to be on your game.
Protecting your supply chain has got to be on every procurement leader's, supply chain leader's mind right now. The CEO, it's like, especially in today's political world where, all bets are off. Literally, all bets are off, and I don't care what happens in the election. It's not. Yeah. It's not getting any better in December.
Yeah.
I got to think that's got to be a huge, thought process in everybody's mind.
We have sat around and discussed the different possibilities, and I finally said, we're done discussing this. We're going to have to play the hand we're dealt, because we can speculate until the cows come home. We have a couple of different ideas of one goes this way, one goes that way. How is that going to affect our business? Mm-hmm. And we know how we would respond, but it's very uncertain. We are uncertain times. I would have never thought a year ago I'd be in this position right now of where the business is at. And I think I have the same thing going on right now, that 12 months from now, I don't know for sure. I really know where we're going to be.
Are you up over 2019? Are you flat? Are you down?
Oh, we're up. We're up by 25%. We're having a record year, but the uncertainty with the election and things with world events, I feel like we're in uncertain territory right now.
I guess that means you got to pedal a little faster, right? It's like everybody, things. Yeah, it's like you just got to work a little harder, be a little smarter, and crying in your beer doesn't do anything.
Exactly. Yep.
It's all good. Hey, we've been doing this about 40 minutes. Let's wrap it up here. And
all
I promise, and we'll do another one. How about we do another one, in a couple months? Love to hear how you're doing in early 2021, and we'll see how the year, filled out. How do people get a hold of you?
I've been told not to do this, but a couple ways. On the Anchor Harvey webpage, there's, a direct link to us, and they can always get a hold of me at my phone number, and it's 815-494-9183. It's on the internet. All my employees have it, and people can call me directly. That's fine.
There you go. Tom Lefaivre, CEO of Anchor Harvey. out in Freeport, Illinois. Hey, thanks, Tom, for coming on. This was awesome. It's great to hear somebody so optimistic and smiling, and it's a great message a lot of businesses need to hear right now. So,
yeah. Well, I enjoyed it, Greg. All right, thank you.
Perfect. I hope you enjoyed the latest edition of the Aerospace Executive Podcast. You can reach out to me directly, Craig at NorthstarESG.com, or check us out at www.northstaresg.com. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or on YouTube. Just do a search for Aerospace Executive Podcast. Thanks again. I'm Craig Pittman.